The wind howls through the Highlands, carrying a voice that seems older than time itself. A voice that whispers of love bound by fate, and a destiny written not in ink, but in blood and stone. The stones stand silent, yet they hum with a secret, an echo of journeys made across centuries. And now, that journey nears its end. The camera drifts slowly across mist-covered hills, where the morning sun struggles to break through the heavy clouds. The air feels heavy, alive with the sound of bagpipes carried faintly in the distance. A lone raven cuts across the sky, its wings slicing through the mist, as if it knows what is to come. Below, the shadow of ancient stones rises from the earth, weathered, unshaken, eternal. They stand as guardians of time, keeping their secrets hidden within the cracks of their cold surface. The ground trembles faintly, as though the stones themselves breathe with unseen power. A soft light glimmers around them, barely noticeable at first, until it grows into a shimmer that twists the air like ripples across water. A hand slowly reaches forward, delicate, trembling, but determined. The fingertips brush against the stone's surface. For a heartbeat, all sound disappears. The world holds its breath. Then, an echo bursts through the silence, distant laughter, a cry of pain, the clash of steel on steel. Snippets of the past, present, and future collide in flashes of light and shadow. A child's voice calling for their mother, a man's promise whispered in desperation. No matter the years, I will find you. A storm thunders overhead, the skies breaking open as if time itself is tearing apart. The voice of the narrator cuts through, steady, mournful, but filled with warning. The past cannot be undone, the future cannot be stopped, and the love that binds them will be tested beyond measure. The imagery quickens, waves crashing against jagged rocks, soldiers marching across fields with muskets raised, a candle burning down to its final drop of wax. A letter slips from a hand and lands in a puddle, the ink bleeding away into nothing. The raven returns, this time landing atop one of the stones, its black eyes staring directly at the camera, unblinking. The music rises now, faint drums beating like a pulse. Every image carries weight, every sound feels like an omen. The stones shimmer one last time, then fall back into silence. Mist curls around them, hiding their secrets once again. The narrator speaks once more, softer now, almost a whisper carried on the wind. Time is calling, and it will demand its price. The scene fades to black. A single drop of rain falls on stone, darkening the surface like spilled ink. The silence is broken by the steady rhythm of rain, soft at first, then louder, as though the heavens themselves are preparing for war. In the distance, a horn sounds, low, hollow, and filled with dread. Shadows stretch across the Highlands, not from the setting sun, but from a storm that gathers faster than nature should allow. The ground is littered with fragments of memory, a sword half buried in mud, a ribbon torn and carried by the wind, a letter, its words smudged, but one line remains. We are running out of time. The rain begins to wash it away, the ink bleeding like veins across the page. The screen flickers with flashes of what lies ahead. Soldiers shouting as flames swallow wooden homes, muskets firing into the night, and the frantic beating of hooves against the sodden earth. The storm grows louder, and within its roar, voices echo, pleas, confessions, and vows all tangled together. We cannot change what's already begun. If we stay, we die. I will not leave you again. A candle burns in a darkened room, its light trembling against stone walls. The wax drips, forming rivers of time that slide downward, slow and unstoppable. A hand reaches out and snuffs the flame. Darkness swallows everything. Then, an explosion of light. Fire streaks across the battlefield. The sound of muskets is replaced by the cries of men and women who have already lost too much. The camera does not show their faces, only their hands gripping weapons, letters, and each other. Every hand tells a story. Of fear, of loyalty, of love unwilling to let go. The narrator returns, stronger now, their words rising above the chaos. The storm does not wait. It takes what it will. It shatters the weak and tests the strong. And yet, there are those who will stand even when all is lost. The rain pours harder. The storm is no longer just weather. It feels alive, a force that pulls past and future closer, threatening to tear them apart. Lightning splits the sky, revealing the circle of stones once more. But now, the stones do not shimmer. They tremble. The final shot of this section lingers on one detail: a pair of hands locked together, trembling yet refusing to part, as thunder shakes the earth around them. The storm rages, the stones groan, and the drums of fate beat faster. The storm fades, not gone, but waiting, lingering in the distance like a predator. In its place comes silence, heavy and strange. A faint glow of dawn brushes the edges of the sky, painting the world in muted gold. The camera does not show faces. Instead, it lingers on fragments, pieces of lives that reveal more than a single glance ever could. A woman's hand clutches a locket so tightly the chain cuts into her skin. Inside, a portrait rests, blurred by time but still cherished. A child's laughter echoes, fleeting and delicate, before vanishing into the air as though stolen by the wind. A sword is drawn slowly from its sheath, the blade catching a sliver of morning light, its reflection distorted, bending as though the steel remembers every drop of blood it has taken. The screen cuts to a pair of boots trudging through mud, then to parchment sealed with red wax. The seal cracks open with a snap that echoes too loudly in the quiet. The letter reads only a fragment before the paper burns away in sudden fire. "No matter where, no matter when, I will find you." Softly, the narrator begins again, but this time the voice is more intimate, no longer commanding but confessing. Love is not a promise. It is a tether. It binds across time, across war, across the very breaking of worlds. And yet, even the strongest tether frays. As the words unfold, the imagery shifts. A candlelight flickers over clasped hands, one shaking, the other steady. A book falls open on a desk, its pages fluttering, revealing a map drawn with hurried strokes. Footsteps echo in an empty hall. Somewhere, a clock ticks, each strike louder than the last, until it feels like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Voices break through again. Not full conversations, just shards of longing and fear. "Don't leave me here. The cost is too great. I will endure anything. For you." The sound of a heartbeat grows louder, syncing with the music, each beat like a drum calling the audience closer to the edge. The hands on the screen release. The locket drops to the ground. The image lingers there, the chain coiled like a snake in the dirt. The narrator whispers, the words trembling with both love and warning. Every choice leaves a scar, every love leaves a mark, and some scars last longer than time itself. The music rises, faint violins straining against the silence, as the screen cuts to black once more. The stillness does not last. It never does. The ground quakes, faint at first, then violent, as though the earth itself is being torn apart. The sound of drums crashes in, no longer subtle, no longer distant. They are war drums, pounding like a heartbeat that has grown too fast to sustain itself. A torch drops into a pool of oil, and in an instant, the night is ablaze. Fire spreads across timber and canvas, eating through homes, through shelters, through memories. The flames dance violently, casting shadows of figures who stand unmoving. Not faces, only silhouettes, but each one trembling with the weight of impossible choices. The storm returns, howling with fury. Lightning slices the sky, revealing fragments of what lies ahead. The flash of a blade raised against a brother. A hand reaching desperately through smoke, fingers almost touching before the darkness swallows them. A door slamming shut on a cry that will never be answered. The narrator's voice rises now, sharper, urgent, every word a strike against silence. When love is pulled across time, it stretches. When fate demands its due, it snaps. And when destiny calls, there is no turning away. The imagery quickens. Horses charge through fire. Letters are ripped apart by rain. A single rose petal falls into mud. A sword clashes against another, sparks flying in the night. The pounding of drums grows louder, faster, until it merges with the sound of thunder. Then, sudden quiet. A single breath. Two hands, reaching once more, finally touch. Fingers entwine, holding tight against the storm. For a moment, the chaos fades. For a moment, the tether holds. But the silence does not last. The stones tremble violently, glowing with a light that fractures like glass. The earth splits open in a roar that drowns all other sound. The narrator whispers the final words, soft but unyielding, cutting through the destruction. Time is running out. The screen explodes into black. The title appears, carved in light and stone. The roar of fire, the cry of thunder, the pounding drums, everything stops. The world falls into silence, heavy and absolute, as though time itself has pressed pause. Out of the dark, faint golden light seeps through the cracks, filling the screen with a glow that feels otherworldly. The camera rises slowly, gliding over a circle of ancient stones. No faces, no figures, only the towering monoliths, their surfaces alive with runes faintly pulsing in rhythm, like a heartbeat hidden in stone. The mist curls around their edges, cloaking them in mystery, until suddenly one stone flares brighter than the rest. The light spreads across the circle, connecting stone to stone, until the entire ring hums with power. The earth shakes. A single raven lifts from the ground, circling overhead, its cry echoing like a warning. Lightning flashes, and for a heartbeat, the stones seem to tilt, as though they're falling inward, pulling all of time with them. Then silence again, an expectant pause. The screen turns to black. Then, carved in fire and shadow, the words appear. Outlander. The final chapter. The letters are etched in stone, cracking with energy, as though the title itself has been pulled through centuries of history. Beneath it, in smaller words that glow against the darkness. Season 8. 2025. The music surges with one final rise of strings, swelling to the edge of breaking, before vanishing in an instant. A single drum beat echoes, hollow, final, like the last tick of a clock. The narrator's voice returns, softer now, not warning but whispering, almost intimate, as though meant for one soul alone. The journey ends where it began, but love never ends. The title lingers on the screen, pulsing faintly as though alive. Mist creeps in from the edges, swallowing the words piece by piece, until only silence remains. Blackness. One last breath of a voice, no louder than a sigh. What would you sacrifice?
For love.
The screen stays black. The trailer ends. Darkness holds for a long, unbearable moment. The silence is not empty. It hums, low and deep, as though the world itself is breathing just beyond the veil. The audience leans into the void, waiting, listening. Then faintly a single sound emerges. The slow toll of a bell. One strike, then another, each toll heavier than the last, echoing across unseen distances, carrying the weight of finality. A flicker of light cuts through the dark, at first faint, like the glow of a candle far away. The glow grows until it reveals the faint outline of two hands almost touching, suspended in emptiness. The fingertips strain toward each other, trembling with desperate urgency. The space between them glows, not with warmth, but with a cold light that feels like the heartbeat of time itself. The narrator whispers, their voice softer than ever, yet piercing. Every journey ends. Every story finds its final chapter. But love is the thread that binds all things, even when the tapestry burns away. The hands falter. The light between them flickers, dimming. For a heartbeat, it seems they will never meet. Then, at the very last moment, their fingertips graze, just barely, before the image shatters like glass. The sound is sharp, final, echoing into silence. The screen goes black once more. A single line of text fades in, etched in pale silver letters against the void. The end is only the beginning. The words hold for a breath, then dissolve into mist. A single raven's cry pierces the darkness, shrill and haunting, before fading into the distance. Finally, the voice returns one last time, so soft it feels as though it is speaking directly into the ear of the viewer. A secret too fragile for the world. What would you sacrifice?
For love.
The screen cuts to pure black. No sound, no light, nothing. The teaser ends. The black screen lingers. Silence stretches long enough to feel like eternity itself has stopped breathing. Then a final sound breaks the void. Not thunder, not drums, not war, but the soft rhythm of a heartbeat. Slow, heavy, human. It echoes as if carried through centuries, steady but fragile, reminding us that even at the edge of worlds, it is love that keeps beating. The camera drifts through darkness, and out of it, the stones rise once more, faint, spectral, their shapes barely visible against the mist. This time they do not glow, nor tremble. They stand still, patient, eternal, as though they know all things return to them in the end. A single raven circles above, silent now, only its wings cutting through the fog. The narrator's voice returns for the last time, calm and resolute, carrying the weight of 8 seasons and a journey across lifetimes. Time has taken much. War has demanded more. Yet love endures. Beyond fire, beyond blood, beyond the grave. It endures. A hand appears in the frame, holding nothing but a torn piece of cloth, its edges frayed by battle and age. The wind takes it, pulling it skyward. As it lifts, the cloth slowly transforms into a banner, glowing against the dawn light. It flutters once, then vanishes into mist. The screen fades once more to black. The words appear, sharp and unyielding, etched like destiny itself. Outlander, Season 8, 2025. The final chapter. The music swells one last time. Violins straining, drums thundering, a haunting Gaelic voice rising above them all. It builds and builds until the sound nearly breaks, then cuts to silence so sudden it steals the breath away. Out of the silence, a whisper slips through, not narration this time, but a voice carried from another world, fragile and unshaken. I will find you, always. The screen fades completely. The trailer ends.